Alright guys, we are bringing this one in for a turbocharger after we just did the transmission relearn in the last video. Let's see if she actually starts. Hopefully. It was towed up here. Alright, so we're gonna get this one in the shop. They towed it, took the dually wheels off, towed it up from Virginia. We have a ton of projects we gotta get through. We gotta get these two in as well. And then we got one on the trailer. So, gonna get this one out of the way. Also don't want it getting hit by any of these semi drivers. But, hopefully this is the last thing that we have to do to this thing. Hopefully. I'm gonna pull this one into my bay because I think we have a truck and trailer coming in today for brake issues. We'll see if that one shows up, but this video is gonna be all over the place. Filming this now, you guys will see these clips in a couple of weeks from now. All right, so we're gonna get this off here, show you guys kind of what we're working with, and yeah. Look at that. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys the signs of a bad turbo. If I could get my damn camera down there. I don't know if you guys, there you go. This thing's shot. Now the shaft play's not insanely bad. That's not what I'm worried about, even though it's bad. The main thing is, well, first of all, you can see the fins eaten up down there, but the seals are so bad. You can already see it leaking oil. Look at that. That's how you can see how bad. I thought that was oil. But you can see, look at that. So, needs a turbo. Fun. Not a big deal. I mean, it is, but it isn't. We'll get her one slapped on there. He's got a parts truck coming, so we're gonna be slapping a parts truck turbo on here and calling it a day. This thing's gonna need a good rinse off. All right guys, these videos are all over the place, such a clusterfuck, but we're back to do this turbo. All right, so we're gonna be pulling this turbo out. This thing has unfortunately suffered an untimely death, as you saw from the previous clips. Can't talk today. Let's start pulling this damn turbo out. All right, yet another phone conversation with a customer. So I got that much out. The turbo is out. This one was an absolute fighter. I pulled this guy off so we could get the lower coolant hose off. Taking this off does not affect the use of the turbo. If you take off the backside, you can see there's veins back there. They slide on a collar right there, so they slide in that thing. I have a repair kit for those because I have repaired them before. Unfortunately, yeah, this turbo's shot, so we're just gonna throw that away. Gonna set it aside and start collecting some parts off of it, clean it out. I see that he has the silencer ring out of this one, so we'll see if we take the silencer ring out of the next one. But there was this would not clear to get the whole turbo out, so I had to pull the center section out of itself. They're not super hard to get. You just take a little pry bar, smack it down in between, pops out, good to go. So the used one over here, we're gonna start refurbishing. Now we're not gonna get this thing on today. I don't have the mounting kit and this and that, so we're gonna get that tomorrow. So I don't do enough of these side by side to really notice the differences, but you can see how the 2013 Plus actuator has a plug, whereas the 2007.5 to 2012 has a wire harness, and you can see it was chewed on, but that's besides the point. So this one came off pretty easily because it's so covered in oil that everything was already lubricated, ready to go. So we got those four out. This piece here came out from back behind here. Now this truck never really had a good exhaust brake, so I have a way to be able to test this actuator. So we're gonna do that, throw this chaw away. We got all the new gaskets and what. We got new coolant fittings, all that stuff. We got to get this turbo off and Also got to get all 4 of those off, so I'm actually going to start soaking them a while. And you can see they do this lovely thing, which I don't know if it's this one here. Actually, I guess this one they don't. But a lot of them, they leave a side open. Like this whole side would be left open. And the problem with doing that is it gets all that corrosion in there. And keep in mind, it's a steel bolt on an aluminum housing. So, but yeah, we're going to take all that off. We're going to take the front cover off, but we're going to leave the center section into the exhaust housing, because you guys can see on a variable geometry turbo, you have vanes. They slide. They also, wherever the exhaust housing went, it's probably right in fucking front of me. There it is. They slide in that. I think I said something about it last night. But, like I said, we're going to throw that out. We have, unfortunately, Fisher's couldn't get it to me in time. He's in more of a hurry. So I had to go through Advanced, who had it. And it was $105 instead of $35. But he said, just do it because can't wait till Monday. So I'm going to get a lot of this stuff cleaned up. I'm pretty sure the front covers are the same. So we're going to swap them out as well. I'm going to get all this oil and shit cleaned out. That one has oil through it as well. I'm a little concerned with this turbo because having a hole in the piston and having that all go through. So there's definitely oil out the exhaust and through this turbo. But it feels healthy, so we're going to run it. That's what I was told to do. We'll go from there. So for the guys that can't picture this, that's the exhaust brake position. You can see all the exhaust is going to go into here and spool the shit out of this turbo and create a bunch of back pressure. Then right about here is where it's going to start spooling, and then this should be max boost up here, and then this regulates the boost as well as back pressure and all this other stuff. There are sensors. You can see right there's a back pressure sensor. It goes up and it plugs in. It tells the PCM when to change positions of the vanes. This thing is constantly moving when you're going down the road. Anytime you change throttle position, anytime you change load, this thing is constantly moving to regulate boost. So these things generally about 35 PSI is their max efficiency. Stock truck will probably see about 30 to 32 PSI. But luckily all 4 bolts came out in good condition, and we're going to keep those. The one I did have to use a Torx because it was starting to strip. So that's good. And then these are the 2 little O-rings that go in there. And yeah, you cannot reuse these O-rings ever, period, whatsoever. So we're going to get this nice surface area cleaned up in here and replace those seals. And I'm going to check this on my box. So once we get the new turbo on, I'm going to do a test on this and make sure that this is good, because if I can save him the money on that, I don't have any suspicion as to why this is bad. So let's get this turbo off of this manifold over here and go from there. All right, so we got this one ready. I'm gonna start getting this thing pretty much all cleaned up. We're not taking the exhaust housing or anything like that off. Need to check, make sure that these connectors are the same, which I'm pretty sure I already did, but you guys get the point. So there's a 2-wire connector. Those have been iffy, but this one's a lot better. Now you can see all of the coolant that goes in here. So basically, how this works, okay, this little wheel here spins off of this actuator. I can feel that this moves fine. A little bit of resistance, but for the most part, it's fine. This one, you can see the difference. This one doesn't have any slop. This one has a little bit, but a little bit's okay. That's not hurting anything. But you can see all of this gunk on here. We're gonna get all that cleaned off. It's disgusting. All that old coolant and shit. Look at that. So we'll clean that up. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So, getting distracted here. Basically, this spins this thing here. That's where you get your vane actuator. This over here is your coolant port. So coolant flows, let's just say, in from the top, out this hole, goes around here, back in this hole, comes out the bottom. Whether it comes in the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Point is, it flows one way or the other. Now, you'd think it would flow from the top to bottom. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't have the time to sit here and diag that for you. But goes through here, basically keeps this thing cool, because if you took this exhaust side and you put it right next to this thing, it is gonna get hot. So it needs that 200-degree coolant to cool it down. So there you go. Now, like I said, let's get everything cleaned up here, and we're gonna start getting it mounted. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. We also gotta get all of this gasket material off back here. Here's the cleaned up. Surface is all nice. And there we go. So, get it thrown on. Alright, so we got the turbo in. Unfortunately, had to lift the motor on this side to get it. I needed like a 1/4 inch. I tried everything I could to not lift it, but it needed lifted. So I'm gonna try to get the downpipe connected and then get this thing pretty much dropped down, because we're done underneath. We got the oil drain. Both of those things you can get from the top. You guys see right there. You can get them from the top with all that stuff off. So I'm gonna drop this motor down. We're done down below. We gotta get the upper coolant feed on, which comes over to this guy here. And on the 3rd gens, it comes up and connects right here. So let's get her dropped down. And then once we get everything back on, we need to test the actuator. So I could do that with my box. Alright, getting to install it. You can see nice new gaskets and shit. Going through the actuator programming. So now we can install this. That's what it says to do. And then we'll tighten the screws down, get that out of the way. I'm gonna back this thing out. This is all done. Shit. Oh, there's a key. All right, so we already had it started. Exhaust brake didn't work before, by the way. And now, give her a second. Oh, it might be warm enough now. Okay. Alright, on. Whoops. On, set. Oh, man. Running good. Made boost earlier. Alright, so turbo truck is done. It is out of here. We're bringing in yet another one. We got to do the front brakes today, and then tomorrow we're doing a heater core on it. So it's going to be a long Saturday. We got Brandon in the background blowing out the shop and detailing the Honda. But I think for the most part, I got about another few hours here. We got to do calipers, brake pads, brake rotors in the front, and potentially put another fender on a different trailer. Actually, I think it's the same trailer, but the other side. So, might film some of that, might not. I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, so I didn't film any of it, but we did 2 new calipers, brake pads, rotors, the whole 9 yards. This one we're doing the heater core on. We're busy as shit this week. I gotta bring one over here Monday into Tuesday, so I'm gonna get this whole thing cleaned up. We got this truck here. We have another 4th gen coming in tomorrow or Monday. This one's having tranny problems. We're going to take care of that, adjust some bands, this and that. Parts for this will be in on Tuesday, but just figured I'd give you guys updates. Do not ask me if I'm booking anything this week, please. It's going to be a long week, and I have to get all this stuff done by Friday. So, appreciate you guys. Next video. Going to pay my detail guy now.